Hi everyone and welcome back. So what's happening in the homestead over here is that tomorrow we're going to have electrical done on the chicken coop as well as on my greenhouse. So I have to go in there and maybe kind of organize it a little bit just so that I have the space, because I want to put electrical outlets, I want to put a light in there, I want to put a fan in there. So let me turn the camera around. So this is the greenhouse, if you haven't seen it before. And what I'm hoping for is for a light, because this little light here is only held by a couple of screws. That is just a cheap little solar light. It brings in a little bit of light over here, which is great, but I want something that I'm not spending a bunch of money down the road to replace it. So because of that, I want something a little bit more permanent. But in here, what I need to do is that I need to clear a path so that they can put electrical in here, because I'm hoping that they will put electrical like over here, and then one over in that pane right here, and then maybe one here and one here where I have like plug-ins. Maybe put a light switch right here, maybe a couple of outlets here. And then somehow in this side, somewhere, have the light switch. So, yeah. And then run electrical up on the ceiling so that I can put like maybe a fan with a light combination. I have windows here that the previous owners put, which does provide some ventilation, but you know, you can never have enough ventilation when it comes to a greenhouse. So anyway, then back here, I'm hoping to have a light over here so that I can be out here as well. And hopefully, maybe put electrical right here so that I can plug lights over in this side. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for that'll get done. I mean, there's so much that needs to be done out here, but it'll be a start to at least get some electrical into this greenhouse. This way I can start working in here and getting a lot of this done, because it really, really needs it. And it's going to be really nice when it's done. Okay, I've got some cleaning supplies so that I can start cleaning these cabinets out. I mean, over time this is going to get dusty, right? But why not start this off right by cleaning these off and actually start putting some of my supplies in here while I can. Also, while they are waiting for approving this whole conduit layout, I'm going to be hauling a lot of this stuff over to a shed that I have right over there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, because I have access through my vegetable garden over there. So I'm going to be probably getting I don't know, a cart or maybe a wheelbarrow to help assist with some of this. But I just need enough room here for them to get through so that they can put the electrical. It's actually warm in here, so I'm gonna take off my jacket. I tell you, every time they come here to do some type of electrical, it doesn't matter if it's here or if it's at the build or whatever, it is pouring down rain. I mean, literally buckets. And today, and I think for the next couple days, it's going to be pretty darn decent weather. So this is a great time for me to start doing this. Gosh, what is wrong with my sleeve here? So I tossed that over there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and try to do as much as possible, as quickly as possible, as I can. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm not going to do things perfectly because, you know, this place is going to get dusty, but at least I can get most of the cobwebs out. Okay, you guys, I think I've done about as much as I'm going to do. I still need to take a lot of stuff over to that shed. I'm not going to take you to doing that. I'm going to just do that behind the scenes. But I actually was able to get rid of a lot of stuff in here. Now all the electricians can come in here safely and work in here without any issues of being, you know, trying to get around things. You know, they're going to have a clear path. This stuff I'm leaving here. So this now allows them all the space that they're ever going to need to get in here and do their job and be safe. So yeah, that was a goal. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm so excited today because we finally have the electrical done in the greenhouse as well as in the chicken coop. I won't show you the chicken coop because that's just really not as exciting, but if you want to see it, I will certainly video that. But the yard is now covered where they put the conduits and all the electrical in both the chicken coop and the greenhouse are completely done now, and I can't be more excited just to have that in there. Now, things are still not perfect in there. I still have work to do, but let me just show you what they've done and what I look forward to. Isn't this wonderful? I mean, you can kind of see already, but let me take the camera down off the tripod. Let me show you exactly where all the electrical is. It's pretty much about where I said it was going to be, but let me tell you, it's going to be exciting to be able to work in here and have electricity. So let me give you a little tour. Okay, since I have you facing this direction, let me just kind of go over the outlets and the light switches and why they were chosen for this particular greenhouse. Now, because this greenhouse has a lot of air ventilation, this is considered a wet zone, and because of the moisture that this area or this building will get over time because of watering plants and, you know, whatever, these covers had to be put on it for it to pass inspection. Now, I don't mind the covers because if I wanted to, you know, wash this down, the outlets are all protected. Now, I'm not really sure what this disconnect is particularly. I need to actually have them reiterate that because they were throwing so much information my way that I just couldn't consume all the stuff that they were telling me because it was a little confusing, because I'll show you another area that's a little bit confusing. So I need to label it. He did label it disconnect, but basically for kind of an emergency. And then the outlets all have covers. The main reason why it's considered a wet zone is because this is not cemented. If this had an actual floor in it, like even concrete slabs, then these outlets would have been a lot different than they are. But I'm pretty grateful for having the lids in here, because if I want to wash this down, I can actually wash it down without any concerns that my outlets are going to affect them, or that I'm going to turn off a breaker or burn out a breaker. I don't know how electrical really works, but this way it doesn't affect them. So I'm pretty grateful for it. And I do have an outlet here, and then over here they put the outlet rather than over here. And I'm kind of grateful for that, because this bench here, little shelf unit, fits perfectly there. And so what I'm going to do with this is paint it and make it pretty. And then I'm going to add a shelf here. The bottom I'll just utilize for soil, or, like a soil basket, or for something else, for storage down there. Maybe even cover it completely and put a little cabinet down there. And also because this has a little bit of a lip, and so right underneath it I can add some grow lights, because you can say, well, you got a lot of windows here. You've got plenty of light in here for growing seedlings. And this is true. However, in the winter months, as we all know, we don't get that much daylight. And for that reason, having a place to grow seedlings is the perfect spot, because not only because of the wall back there, but also because when you're growing seedlings, you really need to keep them more warm, and you need to also give them a little bit longer lighting than you would get in the winter months. In the summer, it's probably no problem, but in the winter months, it's a perfect place to maybe do some seedlings right over there. This switch area here, again, there's one extra switch, which I have no idea what it is. I'm going to have them come and label them. But this one here turns on the light outside. And then this one turns the one in the very front. And I asked him, well, why didn't they put a light switch over by the door, which would have made more sense to me. And he said, well, because he just felt that once you're in here, you could just flip up the switch, which makes sense. But anyway, so let's go outside. So out here, where they put the light is right above here. Let me go turn on the light. So now I can switch that up for the light, and I'll have light out here. Now this doesn't seem very bright, but I can actually add a lot brighter light in here, and then it'll really light this up for when I'm working out in the garden or working in this area. The other thing that I wanted them to do is add an outlet here so that I can add, maybe Christmas lights over the Christmas season, or even Halloween season, and also to maybe string lights around this undercover. And who knows, I may have a tool that's not gas or battery operated and need electrical, and so this is a great placement to be able to have that ability to do that. So that's outside. And then in here, against this wall, I initially wanted 2 outlets, but as it turns out, I'm glad that they only put 1. And the reason for that is because I want to put a bench here. And that would have just hindered the ability, maybe not. But, 1 outlet's perfectly fine. And I'm glad that they chose to put it over here, because this window right here is actually a door. You probably figured that out. But where the doorknob was, that hole, which I will probably insulate a little bit, but I'm going to add a cord that I can actually plug into this, and then I'll have light outside in that area to put Christmas lights or whatever kind of lights I want out there. And then this switch here also turns this light on and off. Now, that fan light also has this remote control, which can be controlled to turn on and off the light. So I can actually turn off the light and turn it on. Now, what I like, and also the fan. Now, what I like about this remote control is that if I go inside and I said, oh, you know what, I don't need to go back out, and I left the lights in here, I could actually take this with me, and then I can turn off all the lights from inside my home. The only drawback about this is that I have to remember to bring it back out here. Otherwise, the light switches will not work to put this overhead light back on. Now, during the day, I don't really need that light, but you know what? It kind of works. Not super crazy about this control mechanism, but it also has its benefits. So we'll see what happens. And it also has a timer on it, which is really nice. So you could put it on a timer on the lights, and then it would automatically turn off. And then again, the light switch for this light is over in that wall. So let me go really quick now, and let me kind of show you if you can envision what my thoughts are over here with what I want to do. First of all, what I want to do is I want to pick up all of this cloth, and I want to level it out and then actually put probably like pavers in here, kind of like I did in my small pergola in the Portland home. Just small pavers in here where water will still filter through. And the reason for that is because I have cracks underneath, and this way mice and stuff can't get in here, or gophers or anything like that. So for that reason, I think having pavers is going to be a lot better. Plus, if I need to wash it down, it's very easy. I did it under the small pergola all the time, and it worked perfectly for me. And I think aesthetically it'll even warm this up, because the pavers will collect heat during the day, and it'll make this area a little bit warmer. But right over here, and I have all this written down on paper, and I will show you that. It's just chicken scratch, but at the end of the video, I'll show you the picture, and hopefully you can make it out. But my thoughts right now is to do a bench with the chicken wire on top that'll go probably to this beam right here, all the way to possibly this beam. It's going to depend on how large my container is, because this corner right here, I want to actually use a container that I purchased that is made out of tin, that I can actually grow vegetables in it, or like herbs or things like that, that I can have all year round. Then on this side, in between that bench and this, I'm going to leave open so that I can have like my lemon tree, my kumquat tree, or any other type of tall growing plant I can have over here, and it'll get perfect lighting. So that's my thoughts right now. And then right over here, I want to put a little bench right underneath these cabinets just for extra storage. And then I thought of putting a wood stove in here and introducing it back in here, because I thought it just looked aesthetically pleasing to have a wood stove. But I'd rather have the space than not have the space to really utilize this in the way that I want. So I want to do away with all that. And then I want to put a little table and chairs right in this corner. And then right over in this area, just put a little bit of a working table right here. Eventually, I want to get water put in here because I have water over here. And so I can actually put a hose, you know, even through that hole right there. But I think I'm going to just have it piped into here, because the water line, this blue line right here, is the water line. And it comes all the way across through the front. So it would be just so easy to pipe it into here and then have, you know, maybe a little sink or something here. That's my thoughts for this right now. So we'll see what happens. But I do want to paint it. I want to make it look pretty. And yeah, now this has like glass shelving in it. It really was meant for inside a home. And so there's a ability to have a shelf in the bottom and then center part and then one at the very top. And that I'm going to keep against the window over there so that I can put like, you know, house plants or something like that. That'll just look really pretty there. I don't really need a lot of storage in here other than a few, you know, potting containers like this and maybe an area for soil. And that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So underneath this bench, so if you can visualize this, the top of it is just going to be chicken wire. So underneath it, I want to build a roll-out potting kind of a pen that's on rollers that I can actually pull out so that I have all the soil for potting plants in here. So that's gonna be pretty exciting, and it's not gonna be very wide. So let's go over what the size of this is. So from this wall to the door is 12 feet and 2 inches long, and then from this wall to the door over here is about 10 feet and 9 inches wide. So I've got a pretty good size area here to work with, and I think it's going to look really beautiful when I'm done. But I do want to add also shelving up above right here. Maybe not necessarily right here, but definitely across the top over here. I do want to add an additional shelving as well as probably over in this area, but I'm not 100% sure here if I'm going to have trees. But yeah. Okay, you guys, that's going to do it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching. Love you. I'll see you guys on the next one.